Hello and welcome back to another episode of Mystery Red Reads. I am your host, Mystery Red, and this is a trigger warning. This story covers material that may be upsetting to some viewers and readers. This is my disclaimer. This beta read in concrete is at the author's request. This video is for learning purposes. Today we're looking at a memoir. We are looking at a revision of Chapter 4 for No-Ant-5039 of their memoir, A Soul Exchange. I have an entire playlist for Ant, and I am just going to dive right into this read. Chapter 4, Breaking Glass. Like our encounter, I'll keep this short and sweet. I don't know if I was trying to be cryptic or clever when I programmed you in my cell as breaking glass. I also couldn't say if you'd have remained in my memory had that first night not left such a mark. Just a few days ago, I stumbled over two photos. A smile. What the heck? Where did I come up with the word family? Where did that come from? Wow. Why did I see smile and think family? That's kind of cool, but at the same time, not what I was going for. I am a little worried about my brain, you guys. I'm going to start over. Just a few days ago, I stumbled over two photos. A smile stretched across my face, creeping upward until it warmed my eyes. How uncanny. I'm both repulsed and amused as I stare at the pictures, my knee staring back. The largest cut was still raised and swollen, resembling a crooked grin. The scattered, smaller lacerations, a scribble of angry red lines. Thank gosh, all the glass finally worked its way out. I was afraid my skin would grow over the shards. I have been there. Totally punctured my thumb on a broken, the glass in a picture frame, and I couldn't get it out. It stayed in there for like a couple weeks, I think, and it just kind of worked its way out, which was very weird and painful at the same time. We'd arranged to meet at the bar off the main drag. Sharp staccato clacks from my ankle boots ricocheted through the corridors, slicing the silence with each deliberate step. Your hand nursed a drink, and even if the room wasn't almost empty, I would have noticed you, leaning on the stool at the table by the door. You charmed me with your tales of wanderlust, music festivals, cross-country camping trips, and, most recently, working at a ski resort in the Tetons. Wild waves broke free from earlier attempts to gel your hair in place. The loose strands curled up at your ears. I preferred this look that matched a playful unruliness in your character. With our stools side by side, you shared how your parents named you after a character on Dallas. Too young to appreciate the reference, I couldn't draw any conclusions about your folks, who you'd been visiting in town. Sometimes I wonder if knowing that you were just passing through made our time more uninhibited. We boasted our mutual zodiac sign and shared a hand-rolled cigarette. Stabilizing myself on your arm, you let me lead you to the dive bar a couple blocks down. While I knew bringing you there, or maybe because I knew bringing you there would... While I knew bringing you there, or maybe because I knew bringing you there would drive the conductor of cocktails wild, I liked the vibe, and the bathroom had a full-length mirror. I would look at this one. Okay, so first I was reading it wrong. And while your echo on the phrase is intentional, while I knew bringing you there, or maybe because I knew bringing you there, I'm wondering if we needed emphasis on more than one word with the italicized style, or if we need two sentences okay, so here in this first part of the sentence, while I knew bringing you there, or maybe because I knew bringing you there would drive the conductor of cocktails wild, I liked the vibe, and the bathroom had a full-length mirror. So the full-length mirror in the bathroom is kind of an afterthought, and it is because you've tucked it at the end of the sentence, but I don't know if it's working with the rest of the sentence. They feel a little disjointed. And since I read it wrong, I don't know. I'm just going to draw your attention to the sentence, and I fumbled over it. What parts did I fumble over? I noticed the style on while. So I put emphasis while I knew bringing you there, or maybe because. I think you might need emphasis on because as well. So that because it prompted me to read it with a certain voice when I saw the emphasis. And if it had no italics on it, I would have read it like this. While I knew bringing you there, or maybe because I knew bringing you there would drive the conductor of cocktails wild, I liked the vibe, and the bathroom had a full-length mirror. Now, you have emphasis on while, so I when I started reading it that way and then read the rest of the sentence straight through, while I knew bringing you there, or maybe because I knew bringing you there would drive the conductor of cocktails wild, I liked the vibe and the bathroom had a full-length mirror. If we had emphasis on because, I would read it like this. While I knew bringing you there, or maybe because I knew bringing you there would drive the conductor of cocktails wild, I liked the vibe and the bathroom had a full-length mirror. So like everything after this comment just kind of feels like it's its own sentence. I also liked the vibe and the bathroom had a full-length mirror. I think that would work better, is to make it its own sentence. Just kind of like plunk there. Just like that, super simple. And if you want to keep the kind of intentional echo on new bringing, which I don't know if I would, but if you want to, then I would emphasize this word as well. Yeah, that's going to be what I'm going to go with. Okay. The bartender, almost twice my age, was the arrogant type, good looking, and he knew it. He also happened to be a recipient of a racy photo I had taken of myself in a black piece of lingerie. On a few occasions, he'd pinned me up against the wall and kissed me so dizzy that even now I can almost taste his marble reds on the breath of my memories. Love that. Secretly, I was delighted when he charged us full price. Warmth, enjoying this. Warmth radiated inside me, reveling in the satisfaction of making him jealous. Don't get me wrong. In all sincerity, I was enthralled with you. We clicked right away. The passive-aggressive envy oozing from behind the bar was just an added bonus. I confessed to you my delight and how I would tell by his ice-cold glares he was less than thrilled to serve us together. Turning in closer, you narrowed the gap between our chins and lowered a hand onto my thigh, stoking the fire. You tried to maintain a straight face, but your eyes twinkled and the lines around them creased. Looking into your soul, the mirrors and backlit colored glass bottles behind the bar reflected a vibrant moment where time stood still. Next thing I knew, you were turning the keys in the ignition of your Acura, and I was directing you to a side street in the dark shadows of the wind-blown cypress trees. There was a makeshift cover taped up over your window frame. You explained the glass had been punched in when you were in San Francisco visiting your sister on the first leg of your trip. Good thing, nothing too valuable was stolen, but I know coordinating repairs was an inconvenience. You landed on a good parking spot, a hedge of ivy offering a privacy screen. In the back of my car, my whiskey-laced lips brushed yours with an initial softness, the moment of apprehension that accompanies testing the waters of someone new. Drawing me closer with your hand on the back of my neck, our kiss accelerated with a fierce enthusiasm. Fingers fumbled at the buttons of your long sleeve. We were so engrossed in each other it took me a few minutes before I registered the sting of jagged shards digging into my kneecap. I almost think this one could be two sentences. Fingers fumbling at the buttons of your long sleeve. We were so engrossed in each other. I don't know. Why did it... Maybe it's fine. No, it's fine. I don't know. When I was reading it, it felt like it should have ended somewhere. I don't know. I think it's fine. Do not, just ignore that. We're going to keep going. It's fine. I yanked down my leggings to reveal smears of crimson contrasting my fair skin. No. Oh, shit. I vacuumed, you said, your eyes wide with concern. I thought I got all the glass. I'm so sorry. Are you okay? Let me see what I have to stop the bleeding. Speechless, I wrangled my black crop top back on, and you grabbed a t-shirt out of a duffel bag to mop up the blood. Dredging up laughter to fight off tears, a sizzle burned across my cheeks. Well, how's that for a first date, you joked, rifling behind the driver's seat shirtless. Aw, look at you, Boy Scout. You come prepared. I hope my tone didn't give away the degree of relief that washed over me as you produced alcohol wipes and bandages from a red first aid pouch. I don't know why I was the one embarrassed. Oh my gosh, I remember reading this now and I'm like, I can't imagine. I mean, you have no clue and then just all of a sudden there's pain. Ow. Just ow. And not one shard, but multiple. And you're like all bleeding everywhere. I just can't imagine. What an odd first date. That's definitely memorable. Of course, we ended up spending one more evening together. Despite splitting a bottle of Maker's Mark, we didn't have... Staying awake, talking under the oak tree all night was a different kind of intimacy. The deep, empathetic conversations characteristic of Pisces. Topics included my mom, your mom, our psyche's behind I don't know if I'm allowed to say that. The music festival you attended in Big Sur. I'm just like, I'm reading it. I'm like, I don't know if I'm allowed to say that. I don't know. There's so many things I don't know. I wish I knew. When I read, by the way, when I read the YouTube like do's and don'ts, it seems pretty reasonable, but at the same time, it doesn't match what other YouTubers are doing. Like when I'm listening to other YouTubers, they use all these euphemisms or these little like codes to say and imply certain things, but they're not like things that I really saw on the list. I'm guessing it has to do with like possibly shadow banning or something like that. I haven't been doing this long enough, and I'm not as deep as they are, so we're just doing reads. We're gonna keep going. You were sitting there against the tree trunk, wearing light wash denim jeans and a blue hoodie. In the comfort of your companionship, I even confided what it felt like to wake up every morning while my ex-husband was in rehab. Back when love was fading out of me, I would open my eyes to this moment like no other. With a violent surge, I reoriented to the day, awareness of my reality flooding in, affirming he was in treatment against his will. I was alone and weighed barely 100 pounds, consumed in my misery in the low-income apartment we had shared. During that groggy adjustment period each morning, I came to know grief, and it was then that I knew my marriage was over, even though it took another 5 months for me to leave. When I told you that in some ways I was grateful for the night me, because it was finally my free pass to walk away and never look back, I think I was acknowledging that truth there for the first time. I was surprised to hear from you again over the years, evidence I had left a mark on you too. You'd reach out whenever you visited your parents, even inviting me to the George Clinton P-Funk concert. Though I never mentioned it, I had started dating someone else. Not like you would have cared. You'd even expressed the belief that humans weren't meant to love just one person. For someone with an affinity for booze and so passionate about connection, I have no doubt you yourself. Okay, let me try that again. For someone with an affinity for booze and so passionate about connection, I have no doubt you yourself maintained a healthy life. All the same, I fed you a string of excuses to avoid my relationship status. Okay, so on that one, I'm just going to highlight where I'm hung up. It's the you and yourself paired together. I mean, we write as we speak, but sometimes I don't know if I'd have you and yourself paired together, and I can't pinpoint exactly why, except that maybe this isn't dialogue. I don't know. So we write as though we speak, but when we have dialogue, we really get to write as though we speak. And when we write as though we speak, you can't see me putting up little quotation marks around that. It's close, but not exactly, and for certain reasons. Sometimes it doesn't read the way it sounds out loud. I think, and then sometimes it doesn't sound out loud the way it would read or the way you intended the reader to read it. And then there's just, how does it sound? And so I can tell you that when I tripped over that, it was the pairing of you yourself is where I tripped over. Let me just summarize a big long diatribe and say, that is where I tripped up. That's the spot. And you can take it for what you will. I also thought there's a chance you might be able to make that into 2 sentences if you wanted. But primarily, I tripped over this part right here. Let's see, we're down here. After all, the vulnerable things we had shared over our sleepless night together, it feels strange that I couldn't be honest. Maybe I wanted to preserve our memories exactly as they were, or perhaps I wanted to keep my options open, unexplored possibilities on a path never pursued. I like the ending of that one. I really like this last sentence to kind of summarize the whole thing. So let me just look back here. Did you have any notes for me on this one? I don't know if you had any. There was nothing up here, so I don't see any like questions. I wonder. I kind of want to like peek over at the first one. I like this. I liked him. I remember he was very memorable when I was reading it all for the first time, because I think of the awkward the glass in the seat, and just that everything just kind of went wrong. It was just like a big mess. Is this part with the bartender, is that the new part? And where that, I don't really remember that part. I remember the glass for sure. I'm trying to figure out what you added. And I remember the musings. I remember not musings, sorry. I remember the star signs coming up a couple times. One was Gemini in another story, in another chapter, and then this Pisces guy, where you had lots of conversation. I remember that, you weren't even doing things, if you know what I mean. You were just talking, and I can relate to that. Really enjoying that deep conversation. It's like it's its own type of connection. It doesn't happen very often. So this was a really, really good addition to your memoir. Okay. If you have any specific questions for me about it, just send them to me and I will answer them. Otherwise, this read pretty clean, and I do still remember him. I did like him, and I'm thinking this part with the bartender is new. If it's not, please forgive me. I have read, I'm reading for, let's see, I think 4 or 5 people right now and multiple stories. So some of this is starting to mix together for me, but I really want to comment on additions, but I don't. I'm trying to figure out what do I not remember. If I read the first one, what did you add? Did you tell me? I'm gonna pause and go read. You didn't. You just told me that I coaxed out some more memories. I feel like the bartender part was new. I could be wrong. Let's see. Did I know that he was a Pisces the first time? I do remember you talking to him. I remember you getting cut by the glass and just having this really awkward night that you managed to pull off, and it actually kind of ended well, mostly because he behaved appropriately. I mean, he responded appropriately. So I really liked it. I liked this whole interaction with him. Okay. I don't have a lot to say because it's very clean. It's very clean. And then I noted just a couple of things there. And on that note, I'm going to end this video here, and I'm going to go check out your new piece really quick and take a look at that. So, guys, I'll see you next time on Mystery Red Reads.